blanket underneath me, but you definitely need something, especially if you're sitting in cross leg. But feel free to sit up on something higher, and free to be in a kneeling position if you prefer. So, and then just sit up nice and tall, relax down your shoulders, lengthen up through the crown of your head. There's Teresa now. So really imagine, you can imagine the physical, so what you feel underneath you from, the parts of you that touch the floor, and the bones of you inside of that flesh that kind of feel solid, right up through the bones at the top of your head, the fused bones that create your skull, and the skin that covers, and the air above. So, you can have a very physical sensation of rooting down and rising up, and of you in between. And you could have also a more subtle, so you could venture into the subtle body, from the root chakra, so that sort of sense of the grounding energy, or the energy of security and safety, and of you being here in the world, right up to the crown chakra, Sahasrara chakra, where we're connected to everything and everyone around us. So every other living being, every living blade of grass, everything in the cosmos, that we're connected. So you could sit with that, just sense of here and now, and being connected beyond, or just the very physical sensation of sit bones on the ground and skull above, and you in between. So all of the bits that make you up, on an energetic, on a physical level, on an emotional level, on an intellectual level, everything that you come to practice. And I'd love us just to start with a Kapalabhati. So we're going to do 108, which I normally split up into 3 lots. But we'll see about going for the 108 today, and not worrying if you start to get a little bit lightheaded. It's not something you practice very often or at all. Don't worry, and just come to this breath, this natural, normal minding your breath. If you do want to try Kapalabhati, it's the strong exhale through the nostrils, like you were trying to blow out a candle with your nostrils. And if you were to do that, and you've nobody in your vicinity, you would see, if you have a hand lightly on your belly, that you use transversus abdominis. So it's a pulling back sensation that assists you. So we know that transversus abdominis isn't about abs, it's about security, it's about stability, and it's about holding stuff in, and it's also one of the muscles that help us with forced expiration. So you could try it a couple of times, and that's basically the breath. So I'm going to count to 108, so you don't have to count, but again, once you feel like that's enough, just stay with your breath, so you don't have to do as well all 108. And you can have your hand on your belly to sort of connect to the movement. So it's a backward movement. None of your bones move. So none of your bones need to move. No points are taken off for bones moving, but nothing else needs to move except that exhalation. So the transversus abdominis pulls in to help push up the diaphragm. So the diaphragm will do it anyway, but this is all connected, and it helps to force air out of the lungs. It's just a very nice breathing, cleansing breath. And our focus, if you have a focus, would be on the Ajna chakra, the third eye chakra. So just the space between the eyebrows, or even your whole forehead, as a focus of your attention. So we'll take a normal inhale and a normal exhale. And now inhaling partially. Inhale normally. Exhale, rest your attention on your forehead. And just take a couple more breaths there. Without losing any of that attention, just gently twist to your right. Bring your right fingertips either onto the floor or onto your sacrum, the back of your pelvis, or onto the rest of your blanket. Join your left hand to the outside of your right knee. Keep length. Find your root, find your crown. Find you in the middle. Don't over twist your neck. And then back off just a couple of degrees and let your right ear drop towards your right shoulder. And then lift your chin a little. Just finding a little bit of a stretch. If it doesn't feel great, there's lots of stuff going on down the sides of your neck. Vessels, not just muscles. So there's blood vessels, big ones, and nerves. So we just take care. And then drop your chin, lift your ear away from your shoulder and look forward, stay in your twist. And then drop your left ear to your left shoulder. Relax your right shoulder down and then see about lifting the chin. And breathe into the changing sensations in your neck and back of your shoulders. And then drop your chin and lift your ear, and we'll come to the other side. So if you're cross-legged like me, you could change the cross of your legs. And if you're kneeling, you're just going to twist. So the twist isn't what's important here. We're not coming into the deepest twist ever. We're just twisting so that we can access a little stretch in the neck before we begin our practice. So we're twisting any amount. Soften your belly and let it go with the twist. And then untwist just a tiny bit. So just back off so you're not in your full twist. And then let your left shoulder drop, let your left ear drop towards your left shoulder. See how that feels. And then lift your chin. Again, staying with sort of mild to medium sensation, nothing very strong. Might do this if we have time, which we never do. I don't know who I'm kidding. At the end. Well, I'll try. We'll see. We'll see how we feel. And then drop your chin and lift your ear away from your left shoulder. Turn so that you're facing forward, but your body is still in the twist, in the mild twist. And then start to drop your right ear towards your right shoulder. Stay. If that's enough sensation, stay there. If you want to try lifting the chin, and again, please don't force it. You really could actually, do something that isn't particularly helpful here. So just stay with your own knowledge of your own body and stay with a mild to medium sensation. And then drop your chin, lift your ear away from your right shoulder and come to center. Take a little shrug of the shoulders forwards. And then just bring the soles of your feet together and round. So Baddha Konasana here, we're rounding the back. We're just taking a gentle stretch. If you wanted to, for the back of the neck, you could just literally, elbows could be on your shins and you could place the hands on the back of the head. Breathe. And again, there's fascial connections. Fascia is the kind of collagenous fiber that connects everything to itself and everything to everything else. And it's connected from the soles of the feet up the back body all the way to the top of the head. Okay, come all the way up now. Shrug your shoulders and just lie on your back for a moment. So we're just going to find that core again. So pull your knees in with you and take a little roll around on the low back. And then bring your knees forward so that they're just over their own hips. And you could take the heels of your hands to above your knees. And with the tailbone and the lower part of the sacrum anchored and the low back ribs anchored, but the waist neutrally rolling away from the floor, curving away from the floor. We press the knees back into the hands and the hands back into the knees, and then lengthen the sides of your neck. So draw your shoulders down as well. So you're really connected, like somebody could pick you up with their little fingers. Nice soft throat here, inhale. And then exhale, let your right heel drop away towards the floor, maybe not touching the floor, and then pull back into that tensed up sort of chair position that you've just tilted on your back. And the left one, and then continue. So we're just, really training that deepest core muscle again, the one we were actively using to help force our exhale, the one we would use to sneeze or to cough. It really helps. It's a very, very helpful muscle in the body. So keep it working and keep it mobile and keep it strong. We tap down. Okay, so we're just going to take the hands behind the head. Left one comes back up, hands behind the head, curl forwards. We're going to continue tapping right heel and then left heel. And we're just going to do that a couple more times. Every time the heel taps down, get a little bit further forward or remain forward, because you'll, with fatigue, start to roll backwards. The next time you tap the left heel down, twist to your right. And the next time you tap the right heel down, twist to your left. So we're being very mindful of keeping that right shoulder blade off the floor as we twist right, and left shoulder blade off the floor as we twist left. So firing up the core. Let's go for another 3 and 3. Last 2 and 2. And very last 1 and 1, and then both feet onto the floor. Keep your head and shoulders forward, and we're gonna slide to the left. So we're not twisting, we're just like side bending on our mats. If your mat is very sticky, you're going to be restricted, but that's okay. So you're just engaging muscles. We're not actually trying to go anywhere. And if you wanted to, just here, you could experiment with doing a little, so a little, almost like a Kapalabhati push out of or push back of the transversus abdominis as you go left. And as we don't have very many of these before we get very tired. So, and if you wanted to, if you didn't need your hands behind your head, arms by the sides will give a better kind of locomotion. Exhale. Oh, and then come all the way down. Windscreen wiper the knees. Relax your belly and then rock up to sitting again, straight over onto all fours. Have your 2 blocks handy because we'll use them in a little while. So find cow pose. So that should feel like a nice stretch for what you were just contracting quite a lot there. Press down into your shins and then round for cat pose. Finding your rounding and then extending. And then of course, if you want to, any other movement. So just finding a little bit of weight forward into the hands. If you go in a few figure 8s, go in the opposite direction, just letting your spine move like it really wants to move. And then come back into cat and cow when you're finished. And then just settle into all fours. Lean backwards a little bit. So take your shoulders just back away from your wrists, so they're like an inch behind, and then really press into the thumb pad and the index finger, and almost imagine you were lifting the inner wrist where the carpal tunnel is. Imagine you were pressing the hands, really gluing the palm of the hand, but almost imagine just in at the center of the wrist and up the inner forearm, you were lifting. So keep that lifting sensation, tuck your toes under and float your knees. Keep that lifting sensation and we'll go backwards and forwards a little bit. So really working the hands, try and keep the thumb and first finger plugged in, but really have that lightness at the carpal tunnel, at the sort of bridge across the inside of that wrist and all the way up the inside of the forearms. Keep your shoulders away from your ears. Turn this into downward dog. So lift your hips up, keep your knees bent, just lift your hips up, press your hands forward, keep that lift through the underside of your forearm as you push the full palm down, maybe except for the little bit of hollowing that you might feel at the very center of your palm. Let your shoulder blades elevate, so let them lift towards your ears. We're not trying to not do that. We are just trying to keep the hips up away from the ears as much as possible. And then look forward. And when you're ready, bring both of your feet forward. So any amount, any way that you like. And then hands press into the top of the knees again. We come into a flat back and exhale, fold. And just do that a couple of times. So you could keep your knees a little bit bent so you know that your pelvis has the ability to move as much as it can or as much as it needs to. So we're lifting and then we're lowering and press into the big toe. There's my gun, lifting and lowering. And one more time, lowering and lifting. Push all the way up to standing. Carry your arms with you. Send the center of the chest up towards your chin. Don't lift your chin. Draw your throat slightly backwards, then lift your chin and see about looking up towards the hands if you wish. And then take your arms all the way down and shrug your shoulders up towards your ears and down your back a few times. And then just have the blocks on the front of the mat. I'm going to open my door because I'm already really warm. Get a bit of fresh air. Okay. So we're going to just take a little bit of lunging just to ease into the hips. Inhale the arms up. Exhale, bend your knees and fold. Bring your blocks just beside your toes and reach your chest forward. Bend your knees. And then step your left foot back. Bring the left knee down. Untuck the left toes and sweep your arms up alongside your ears. Exhale the hands down. Tuck the back toes under. Step the left foot forward. Reach your chest forward. Lift the right leg. Step it back. Bring the back knee down, untuck the toes, draw your belly back, press into that left heel as you lift the chest, and then exhale, take your hands down, tuck toes, lift knee, press forward. 2 more times, reach your chest forward. And exhale, step the left foot back, back knee down, sweep it up, and then exhale, take it down, step it forward, reach your chest forward, step the right foot back, inhale. And then exhale, take it down, untuck or tuck under, lift the knee, reach your chest. So this is the sort of important part we want to come into last time now. Step the left foot back, back knee down, lifting, draw your belly back, hands down, lift the back leg, step it forward, reach your chest forward. Step the right foot back, back knee down, untuck the back toes, draw your belly back. And then come all the way back and down. Lift the right foot, bring it forward. Inhale, lengthen your chest forward. Exhale, fold. Lengthen your chest forward, lift your back leg, step it back, back knee down. Lift up your blocks. So we're going to come into a low crescent lunge. Press your left shin down. Really push your right heel down and imagine it dragging it back towards your left knee. Now draw the belly back and lift the chest. Hug your outer shoulders in. Draw the chest up, draw the throat back, and then draw the chin up if you wish. And again, only if that feels supported through the back line of the body. We're going to start to hinge the hips backwards and straighten the right leg. So your blocks are here for you. I like to have mine quite wide. Putting the heel of the right foot onto the floor. And again, press it down. And again, turn the toes to the right and left. So a little bit of rotation through the legs. The hamstrings, you know, you'll feel there's hamstrings on the, that come either side of the back of the knee that form those, like they feel like steel wires either side of the back of the knee. There's 2 on the inside and 1 on the outside. Inhale, lengthen your chest forward. Exhale, fold now if you wish. So just finding, this is my good fold. Now you might be up here as I'll be on the second side. And then pull back. So you're pulling your right heel back down onto the floor. Slide your blocks forward. Inhale the arms up. Tuck the left toes under now. Push into that right foot and the left tucked under toes and lift into your high crescent lunge. Lift the chest, draw your belly back. Take your left arm forward and open your right arm back. And then lift the right arm up and take the right arm forward. And one more time, lift the right arm up and take the right arm back. So just working that shoulder under a bit of pressure, bring the back knee down, hands onto blocks, and then step the left foot forward. Inhale, lengthen your chest forward, look forward. Exhale, step the right foot back. Back knee down, bring the blocks up, and then just come onto your lunge. Press the right shin, press the left heel and imagine dragging it backwards. Lift the belly, lift the chest, Draw back on the belly, lift the chest, draw the throat back, lift the chin, in that order if you wish. So it's a huge ask for this midsection in terms of stability. Very nice. And then take the hands down, start to tilt backwards or start to draw the pelvis backwards as you straighten that left leg, and press the heel down initially, stay up very high, and then just turn it. So you're rotating the thigh bone in the hip socket. The leg is straight and we're turning the toes left. So little toe gets towards the floor, and right, the big toe goes towards the floor. It won't go right as much as it goes left. You can externally rotate a lot more than you can internally rotate there. Then inhale, lift the chest, and exhale, fold. So a little bit higher here on this side than I was on the other side. Just something for me to notice. Breathe, don't overstretch, so don't overdo it. Bring the back foot back onto the floor. Inhale the arms up, tuck the back toes under. Strong right leg now as you tuck the toes under, push back, push forward into the left toes. Bring your right hand down and stretch your left arm back. So the shoulders go down the back, but the arm bones hug into the sockets. So we're reaching them away, but hugging in. So there's that dual action. And then we're sweeping the left arm up and forward. And then just one more time, or did we do two more times, reaching it backwards into your twist, and then taking it forwards. And last time, opening it back and bringing it forwards, taking it down onto the blocks. Bring that back knee down just to rest for a moment, and then step the right foot forward, exhale, fold. Take your nose from side to side. So just starting to warm up the hips now, push into your feet, inhale all the rest of the way up, and exhale down. So let's just take a couple of salutation A's, and then we'll work more into that lunge. Inhale the arms up, exhale, fold forward. Your blocks are there if you want them at all. Inhale, lengthen your chest forward. Exhale, and you can jump back if you want to, or step back. If you're jumping back, you really plug in with those hands and jump back. We come into plank pose. So even if you jump back into bent elbows, then straighten your arms. And then we're going to come forward and down for just chaturanga, and lift up and reach back through the heels. We're going to do that 2 or 3 times. So you could go forward and down an inch, just as long as you feel that squeeze in the back of the shoulder and the upper arm, and then push the arms straight and go back. And of course, you could have your knees down. Forward and down for chaturanga. Push to come up and then reach back through your heels. This time we are coming all the way down. So we're coming down to the floor, untuck the toes, lift your chest. So if the hands stayed where they are, you're going to be in position for high cobra, and that might feel like too much, and you're very welcome to take the chest down or the ribs down for low cobra. Tuck your toes under now. Press through the back of those shoulders and the upper arms, back of the upper arms, back into downward dog. Just here now, you feel that lift on the inner wrist. So the inside of the wrist, the whole palm plugs in. And then that inner wrist lifts up, lighting up the underside of your arms. The shoulders are lifted. So we're not trying to draw the shoulders backwards or upwards towards the hips. We're allowing the shoulder blades to lift. We're really hugging the arm bones deep into the sockets of the shoulders. We're lifting the inner wrists and inner forearms. We're pressing deeply into the palms of the hands. And then just imagine you were trying to get your shoulders closer together and your hands further apart. How would that feel in terms of activating the arm line? Really nice. Okay, and then whenever you're ready, just take your feet forward. Inhale, lengthen your chest forward, and exhale, fold. Push into your feet. Inhale your arms up, and exhale down. So we'll go 2 more full, I was going to say full speed, but maybe full speed. Exhale, forward folding. Inhale, lengthen your chest. Press into the hands, and again, get that lightness through the hands. If you step back or if you jump back, come from plank into chaturanga. This time, roll over the toes for upward dog. take a moment to check your upward dog, that the hands again are pressing, the inner wrists are lifting, the upper shoulders, backs of the shoulders are drawing backwards, and the chest is lifting up and forwards. Roll back over the toes, lift through your low belly to come back into downward dog. And we're going to hold downward dog for 3 breaths. Again, work your hands and arms. So that stability, that everything else that we do on our hands and arms is built upon. Lovely stretch for the spine, especially if you allow your knees to bend. Look at the space between the hands now, or beyond the hands. If you want to take a little hop forward, inhale, lengthen your chest. Exhale, fold down, and then push into your strong legs to come all the way up. Exhale, the hands down, Samasthiti. Inhale, and then exhale, bend your knees and fold. Inhale, reach your chest forward, plug in with the hands, lift those wrists and come back into your chaturanga, rolling over the toes for upward dog. Draw your chest up and forwards, press those hands, lift the wrists, and then up and back downward dog. Find it, stabilize it. Imagine the hands pulling apart and the shoulders hugging in. Can you free up your neck at all by wrapping the shoulders around to the front body even? And lifting the hips up, bending the knees as much as you need. Look at the space between the hands. Look at the space beyond the hands. And then lift the hips as you jump the feet forward. Exhale, fold. Push into your feet. Inhale, come up. Exhale, hands down. Inhale, the arms up. Exhale, bend your knees and fold. Inhale, lengthen your chest forward, look forward. Exhale, now just step your right foot back. So you could have your hands back up on blocks if you like. Bring your back knee down. Don't untuck the toes. So come up. Now have your blocks handy even if you're not using them, like just this moment. And just find your low lunge. Hold for a moment. You're just finding that lovely lunge position. Keep the back toes tucked under now. And then we're going to take a twist. So I would bring your hand onto a block. You can have it on the floor, no problem if you like. So the hips are moving forward, the right knee is moving forward, but not too far forward of its own ankle. We're going to revolve the belly and chest away from the floor. Now focus on your left shoulder. So if it's poking forward like mine is doing right now, I physically want to almost grab that left shoulder blade and draw it down the back. Even bend the elbow a little bit, which you can do if you have the block under the hand. You'll have the space to really draw the head of that left shoulder back and find your twist here. Keep the chest reaching forward towards the front of the mat and then come up into that twist, in that twist. Reach your arms away from each other. Remember, your right hand will be reaching the back right corner rather than the middle of the mat. The shoulders just don't go that way. But the left arm is reaching forward. We really want to plug that left shoulder blade, that left arm bone deep into its own socket on the shoulder blade. See, now this is a bit of a balance challenge, I'll admit, as you come up into high crescent lunge. So you want to keep your lovely twist. Inhale and just find your way into right hip creases drawing backwards, left hip is lifting, the back leg is straight or bent, no problem. Either way, find it here. Inhale, come into high crescent lunge. So turn your chest forward, lift the arms up alongside the ears, and then bring your left heel down and come into warrior two. Wrap your shoulders down your back here. So a couple of things that we're going to do in warrior two, but about 3 times now. We're going to take the left arm, look at it. So look at the left hand, and then we're going to sweep it overhead and bring it forward, and we're leaning forward, reaching forward, reach it as long as the right arm. And then we're going to pull back along the inner right arm with the left hand, cross the collarbones back to where we started, and 2 more times. Sweep that left arm up and look up after it. Bring it forward, so it's like you're reaching forward. Right knee is still bent, left leg is still straight. Pull back. Inhale. Circle. Exhale. And then inhale, pull back. opening the chest. Take your left hand onto your left leg. Make the left leg straighter and stronger as you lift your right arm up. Keep your right knee bent. Take a moment in that crescent or peaceful warrior. Come back, straightening your right leg, and you're welcome to hop that back leg in a little bit as we come into triangle pose. The collarbones are broad. That right shoulder, that bottom shoulder is drawing backwards, and the shoulder blade is drawing towards the right waist as you turn the belly and chest up towards the ceiling. Take your left hand onto your left hip. Definitely grab a block for Ardha Chandrasana. You want to be nice and stable. So I like to have my fingers cupped rather even than the palm of my hand. I feel that that's more stable. Also, make sure you have the block not in line with the foot, but to the right of it, like a good 2 or 3 inches. Now rotate your left hip back on top of your right hip. So the left side of your pelvis on top of the right side. Okay, you can stay here. So this is a challenging pose all of its own. Otherwise, we might try and find that arm thing again. Now, this time you're not going to look at the hand because there's absolutely no way to be stable. And there might be no way to be stable even just looking at the floor. Look at the floor and reach your left arm overhead. So it's reaching. We're going to go really slowly. We're only going to do this one twice. Keep coming down, rounding the upper back a little bit until the left hand is in line with the right. And then draw up. Keep looking down. So don't follow the hand or it'll pull you off. And then one more time. Keep that left leg lifted if you can. You could also stand that left leg against a wall. Would be very nice. Keep your gaze fixed on the floor now as you pull your left arm up your right arm and open it back out. Bend your right knee now, lift your right hand off the block and step it back into warrior 2. Take your hands then either side of the right foot, come back right foot beside the left, chaturanga, upward dog, or all the way to the floor and cobra, and then downward dog. Okay, so we do that on the other side. Inhale the right leg, left leg up, pull the knee into the nose and step it to the left thumb. Bring the back knee down, but keep the back toes tucked under. Inhale your arms up, hug your outer hips in, draw your belly back, make space around your neck, but know that the shoulder blades are lifting here. And then we'll take a twist. So the right hand comes down onto the block and we lengthen the spine. Keep drawing that left hip crease in and back. And then remember that right shoulder. So it wants to poke to the left. Draw it back. So you're using that left hand even to draw that that right shoulder down the back as we open, keep the neck free. Then we're going to come upright. So we're letting the right block go and we're coming upright in this twist. Left hand is pointing at the left back corner of your mat. Shoulders down, reach. Keep the back toes tucked under now, stretch up into your twisted high crescent lunge. Hold it here, so you're getting this twist through the belly, but again, it's really the arms and the neck that we're concerned about. And you can look over your back arm here if you wish. It doesn't make you too. And then we're coming forward, wrapping the left arm forward and inhaling into high crescent lunge. So again, that back leg shouldn't be straight if it pushes your belly towards your thigh. We want a little lift in the belly. So we're really nice and strong and buoyant. And then we're going to twist open to the right, bring the right heel down onto the floor for warrior 2. Hold it here. We're going to start now. Look over the right hand. We're going to sweep it out to the right. Bring it in line with the left and we're reaching forwards. The shoulder blades are pulling apart and then we're drawing that right arm back through the left arm, across the collarbones. Look at it. Inhale it up and over, rounding the spine, reaching forward and then pull back. We can look at the hand as we go, opening back one more time, sweep the arm up and over, and then draw it all back. Find your warrior 2, and then your peaceful warrior. Now, really straight right leg. Don't let it bend, don't let it be soft. Let that right shoulder draw backwards, the front of it draw backwards. As you lift the left arm, more up than back, but then allow it to go back as a natural progression of that for peaceful warrior. And then we're going to straighten the left leg, so you can close the distance between the legs a little bit if you want to. Straighten the left leg and tilt from the pelvis. So the pelvis is going to tilt. We're going to find what's this? Triangle pose, Trikonasana. And again, watch that bottom shoulder draws backwards. The top shoulder draws backwards, and we reach the right arm straight up towards the ceiling, lengthening the left side as well as lengthening the right side. Okay, let's see about our balance challenge. The right hand comes onto the right hip. We hop off that back leg, come onto your block, and again, some way that you feel stable. So if you feel more stable with the hand flat, bring the hand flat, or if the block needs to be higher or lower, but we want to keep that leg lifted. So we're not letting these muscles turn off and the leg drop down. And keeping it in place is very important, again, as we're challenging the balance a huge amount here. So the right arm goes up, then we're reaching the right arm overhead. Just look down, so don't let your gaze wander around your room. Once the right arm is in line with the left, we're pulling up. Again, go probably more slowly, less free than you were when you had your 2 feet planted on the ground. And just one more time, reach it overhead. Keep the right leg lifted. You're really working your glute medius and minimus there to keep that leg abducted. Pull it up to the ceiling, inhale. Then bend your left knee. See about taking the left hand off as you step back into warrior two. And then take your hands, cartwheel them down either side of your left foot. We're going to do that sequence one more time. Chaturanga, upward dog. I don't know whether that's good news or bad news, but it's better the second time. Always step your right foot forward, back knee down, and keep the back toes tucked under. Draw your belly back, low crescent lunge. Take your left hand down onto the floor now, if you like, or onto the block, but keep that left shoulder head drawing backwards as you lengthen the top of the head and the chest forwards for your twist. Hold it there, pop up onto your fingertips, and then hold your lunge as you come up into twist, low crescent twist, and then unkneel, take your back knee off the floor for high crescent twist. Now we're gonna sweep the right arm forward, chest forward, both arms lift for high crescent lunge, inhale. And then exhale, open it into warrior two. Look over the fingers of the right hand. Then look over the fingers of the left hand, and they're going to sweep up and over and meet with the right, and then draw back. And just starting again once you've finished. So I might do 3, you might do 2, you might do 4. Just letting your shoulders and your upper body move. When you've done that third one at least, take your left hand down, left shoulder back, right arm lifts, up and back. Reach it up more than anything, and then back as well, obviously. Okay, and then straighten your right leg. We're taking the right hand down and the left arm up. Right front of the shoulder draws backwards. The shoulder blade nicely cupping onto the back ribs. Lift your left arm up, Trikonasana. Take the left hand down, hop forward so the hand is on a block, and find Ardha Chandrasana. Maybe stay there. Look down though, and keep the outside left hip, outer hip engaged as you keep that leg lifted and stable. Staying for these breaths or just 2 times. We're going to sweep the left arm overhead. How does that change the balance? Because your right foot and your right hand are just negotiating. Pull your left arm up your right, past your collarbones as you spin your chest open and keep that left leg lifted. And one more time, look down or look at something that isn't moving. Use the strength and mobility of your shoulders, the freedom to come all the way back up. See about lifting the right hand, bend the right knee a little bit, come back into warrior two, and then take your hands down either side of the right foot. Plank, chaturanga, upward dog, and then downward dog. And then when you're ready, lift your left leg up behind you, pull the knee into the nose, step it to the left thumb, back knee down, keep the back toes tucked under, lift the arms, low crescent lunge, take the right hand down onto the floor, right shoulder goes backwards as you twist to the left, left hand goes up for your low crescent twist, come up for a twist, so a more upright twist. That was a low lunge twist, sorry, this is a low crescent twist. Arms are reaching away, but again, keep the neck free. No need to strain the neck here, inhale. And then strong legs, balance, strong legs, balance. The left knee keeps going forwards. The right heel keeps reaching backwards. We're in our twist. We're going to take the left arm forward and up, and we find our high crescent lunge, which should feel really lovely here. And then the right heel comes down and the arms come wide. For warrior two, left side, wrap those shoulders back, look over the right hand, sweep it up and over, meet it with the left and draw back 3 times. And then peaceful warrior, inhale, draw your right shoulder back, deepen the left knee bend, but don't let it come too far past the ankle. And then come back into your warrior two, straighten your left leg and come into Trikonasana. So hop that back foot a little bit closer. If the hamstrings are bothering you here, again, you don't want that left shoulder poking forward, draw it back, lift the right arm straight up, lengthen both sides. How's your neck? Now we'll see about Ardha Chandrasana. The hand can come back onto the hip if you like, or it can just come, or it can stay upright as it is. And then find the outer hip muscles. So they're almost going to be the same as if you had your leg pressing into a wall. And you're very welcome actually to bring the leg pressing into a wall. Keep looking down, but reach your arm overhead. So don't be looking around. Arm goes down in line with the left arm and then pulls up the left arm, collarbones, and straight back up. Just one more time. Reach. And then pull up, up, up until we're up. And then lift the left hand off the floor. Slowly come back to your warrior two. Look over the fingers of the left hand. Wrap the shoulders down. And then take your hands down either side of that left foot and then step it back into plank. Again, you can leave out your vinyasas here and just come back to downward dog, or you can enjoy those vinyasas as they neutralize and reset us for the next thing. So find downward dog. And again, if you found that, like I did, quite strenuous, then you're welcome to bring your knees down and take a Anahatasana instead. Just find something that works for you. Yeah, lovely. So and then just before you come, before we do come to the next thing, just take a child's pose and just think about, even stack your head on your fists and really think about lengthening the low back. And you could shimmy from side to side a little bit. You could imagine, even though obviously your lung tissue only goes down to the diaphragm, down to the bottom of the ribs, but you could imagine your breath going right into the back of your pelvis. And that can feel lovely to a pelvis that feels worked. And then whenever you're ready, just lifting up and back. So lifting up and back. We're going to step the right foot a little bit forward, look at the space between the hands, and just find that stability through the shoulders again, and see about hopping just a couple of times. Lift and hop. Keep your left leg straight, and then only do about 3 because we need to switch sides and have a bit of juice in the tank for those other sides. Shoulders are nice and strong. Now you can feel free to just do this one, so you're not hopping at all. So if you want to, and just about 3 times, and then come back into downward dog. From downward dog, look at the space between the hands and either step or jump the feet to the hands. Inhale, lengthen your chest forward, and exhale, fold. Inhale, come all the way up, and exhale, take your hands down. Okay, so last vinyasa probably. Inhale, maybe second last. Inhale the arms up, and exhale, bend your knees and fold. Bend your knees now as you're folded, and really reach the heels down, the knees forward, the chest forward, and the arms back. So really sort of fold, compress your belly and thighs together, and then just lift your hips a little bit. And they won't go far if your belly and thighs, your belly, your ribs and thighs, or your belly and thighs stay glued together. So you're finding that compression, like you were trying to do a really strong child's pose. Why would you want to do that? Okay, so really squeezing and really reach your hands back. Now sweep your arms forward and find chair pose. Again, now imagine that the shoulders were pulling in and the arms were pulling apart, and the chest is just lifting up. And we're going to bend, bend, bend for Utkatasana, chair pose. Take your hands down, reach your chest forward, and then see about hopping back into plank or chaturanga, or stepping back to plank and coming into chaturanga. Untuck your toes and lift up into not cobra, upward dog, and then back into downward dog. Inhale, lift the right leg, pull the knee into the nose, and step the right foot to the right, come back knee down, keep the back toes tucked, sweep up into your low crescent lunge. Inhale, draw the belly back. Exhale, we're taking the blocks again, and we're going to stretch into Ardha Hanumanasana. And again, just take a little windscreen wiper of the foot, just making sure that you're not just passively falling down on that right foot. And then we're going to take the right foot back down. You can have the blocks with you here if you want to. Hands come off the blocks, inhale the arms up, and then lift that back leg up off the floor. And this time we're just flattening the left heel down and having the left hip turn forwards. So you might need to bring the left foot forwards. You might need to bring it slightly to the left a bit, because you want your hips to be fairly squared here. Bend your right knee, lift your chest, look back at the hands, lengthen your tailbone, and then exhale, bend forward at the right hip joint and lean off the left foot onto the right and find warrior 3. So reaching that left leg up and back behind you, reaching the top the head forwards, and then see about your blocks are there coming down into a standing splits. The left leg continues to lift and the upper body continues to fold. See just here at the end before we're coming out now, but can you compress the belly and the right thigh and relax the head? And then really point up with the left foot. Okay, come back the way you came. So come into warrior 3, hands off the blocks again. Bend your right knee and let the left foot come back onto the floor. Inhale your arms up for warrior 1. And then exhale, take the hands down either side of the right foot, bring the left knee back onto the floor and find your way back into Ardha Hanumanasana. Okay, come forwards. Lift the back knee, slide the right foot back to meet the left. Come onto the little toe side of the right foot and stack the left foot in front of it. Right shoulder wants to poke to the left. Draw it back. So the shoulder blade draws down the back, the hand presses, and that inner wrist lifts. So really find stability through that right shoulder. Lift the left arm, press down into the little toe side of the right foot. So it's the same muscles really that we're lifting the back leg in Ardha Chandrasana. We're using the same muscles, so they're abducting, even though it doesn't necessarily look like it. Reach your left arm over. Side plank, take it to the other side. Left hand comes down, little toe side of the left foot. Stack the right foot in front of it for now. We're just working on that left shoulder. Draw the shoulder blade down the back. Turn the belly and chest. Press the palm. Lift the inner wrist all the way up the inner forearm. Turn open, lift the right hand. Spread out the collarbones, feel the span of your 2 arms here, and then press the left foot down really strongly. Squeeze the outer left hip, draw the belly back. Reach the right arm over and take it down. Find chaturanga, upward dog, and downward dog. Look at the space between the hands. Bring the feet there. Bend your knees. Compress belly to thighs. So keep the pelvic floor lifted, but press the belly and thighs. Reach your head down and your hands back. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Now keep squeezing the belly to the thighs for as long as you can. Reach your arms into chair pose. Imagine the hands pulling apart and the shoulders hugging in, but the shoulder blades aren't hugging towards the spine. They're hugging towards the side ribs. So that's where the neck can be freest. And then exhale, fold. Inhale, lengthen your chest forward. Exhale, step your right foot back. Back knee down. Have the blocks handy. Low crescent lunge. Inhale the arms up. Draw the belly back. Exhale, take your hands down. And just find an arrangement that works for you with the blocks. And toes from side to side. See about. Where would you need to be? Left knee can be bent to really, again, find a bit of compression, belly to thighs. It doesn't mean that they have to meet. And mine don't on this side. Long inner right leg, long inner left leg. And then come forward. Blocks come forward with you, or you can leave out the blocks. Lift the back knee off the floor. And then we're going to come into a high crescent lunge. Inhale the arms up. And exhale, step the right heel down. So the belly draws backwards. You might need to bring the right leg more to the right or further forward towards the front of the mat, or both. Reach into that back heel, draw the belly back, make space around your neck, inhale the arms up. So exhale, we're going to fold forward into our warrior three. Blocks are handy. And hug that left hip in. Same thing as our abducting. So even though we're hugging the hip in, because we're hugging the hip in, it's the same abductors. It's the same action as if we were trying to pull the foot out. So right leg reaches up behind you, and then see about taking standing splits. So the hands can come onto blocks, the right leg lifts, and then just see, is there any possibility of a bit of compression of the left rib cage towards the left thigh? And if there is, can the right leg float up a bit higher? And then come back the way you came. Push into that left leg, come up into your warrior three, and then bend the left knee, step the right foot down, flat onto the floor. Inhale the arms, warrior one. Find it, draw the belly back, don't rush it, reach the back heel into the floor, soften the throat backwards, reach the arms upwards, inhale. Exhale, take your hands down and bring the back knee down. And then we'll stretch back into our last Ardha Hanumanasana. Hips folding, chest reaching forwards. That's it, lovely. Okay, and then coming all the way back, left foot on the floor, step the left foot back to meet the right, little toe side of the left foot. Left shoulder, left front of the shoulder, draw it backwards, left shoulder blade down the back. Stack the right foot in line with it, is important. Reach the right arm straight up. Collarbones in the front, shoulder blades in the back, arms either side, strongly pressing. So really stable shoulder girdle. Reach down into that left heel. So really pull down into it and then bend your right knee. Just touch the right toes to the inner left knee and turn the right knee up towards the ceiling as if you were doing tree pose. Now keep pressing with that left hand and the little toe side of the left foot. If you want to, you can let the right knee come into your hand. You could also grab onto the big toe and straighten the leg up towards the ceiling. You're welcome to hold it here or here as well. Come to the other side. So there's only so much time we have in that. So a couple of things that make it more doable, or certainly that we get to the stage where it's more doable, is keeping that hand plugged in. So the palm of the hand, The inner wrist is lifting through the inner arm. The shoulder blade is drawing down the back and the front of the shoulder is drawing backwards. Little toe side of that right foot, ground it. So you're working these outer hip muscles and then the left arm goes straight up. The core gets in line. You don't even need to, if all of those things are in place, I can guarantee your core will be working. So really press into that little toe side of the right foot. Left toes to the inner right knee. Hold on to the knee if you like, or grab the toes. Oh, this is not my good side. And lift up. So just seeing what stability can do for you. Come back into plank and then forward and down chaturanga. Rolling over the toes for upward dog, shoulders back, and all the way up and back into downward dog. Can we take pigeon now? So settling it down a bit, lift the right leg, pull everything forward, take the right knee behind the right wrist and the right foot behind the left wrist, but not necessarily up in line with it. And then just start to settle back and down. I'd like you to stay upright for a while, for a second, and staying upright and being aligned, so as in your right hip drawing back and your left hip drawing forward and the belly drawing backwards and the shoulders wrapping down the back and then the belly drawing backwards again, and that left leg straight, the inner length of the leg really long, and the thigh just pressing down any amount towards the floor. So that will help to open the left hip flexors, so the increasing your range of hip extension on the left leg. And if you wanted to, so if it didn't kind of make you pull your hips, you could bend the left knee. I can't bend it very more without my hips wanting to pike up in a sort of a defensive tightening. My body is very defensive about stretching. So just finding that little bit of any amount of lift that you can do without lifting the hips. And then dive forward. And again, make it a line. So line up your sternum with your midline of your mat, reach your chest forward, widen your elbows and take your heart down towards the floor. If you have rounded your back considerably, you're too low for this hip position. So you need to stack up. So if you want like support of something under you, maybe that's not quite nice if you had any bigger boobs than I do, but you don't want to come fully down and the body will be searching for something and it'll be holding too much tightness for this to work for you instead of against you. So let's squish my mic. Okay, so let's just get to the other side. But first of all, just sit back onto your right sit bone and turn your body left and then pull that left leg forward and cross it in front of the right, and then just fold. Easily, carefully, calmly. Hope we're not running out of time. We're totally out of time. We'll just do the other side. So coming all the way back up, and the left leg is already now in place. So we're halfway there already. So the left knee in line with the left wrist, the left foot in line with the right wrist, and the right leg goes behind. Yeah, Santina's gone. She can get to her pigeon later. So reaching that back leg backwards, long right inner leg, rolling the inner leg up towards the ceiling, dropping the right thigh down, lifting the belly, lifting the chest, shoulders down the back. So just staying upright. Your hands could be on blocks here to keep you upright. The left hip is just dropping. The right thigh is dropping. The outer hips, you could find them, you could try hugging them together. The belly is drawing backwards, and then just see about if you were to bend the knee, and you don't have to, it's not essential, but if you were to, would it make your hips lift? And if it does, only come to where you can keep your hips from lifting, and then settle forward. Pigeon pose is such a lovely segue between our strong yin, yang, rajasic, dynamic vinyasa flow and our more yin,
introverted, introspective, forward folding seated poses. So just go with the spirit of that now that we've come out of our big stretch for the back of the leg. And then whenever you're ready, starting to come up, drop that left hip down, turn right, and then help it if you want. Bring the right leg around in front of the left and fold. And again, go easy because you're coming out of a big stretch into another stretch. You know, you might not find a Sukhasana forward fold massive for you. Okay, and then if you did want to, we could just come into that. I know we're way out of time. You could twist to the right, but not too much. Drop the right ear towards the right shoulder and then lift the chin. So if we've kept our neck nice and free and then drop the chin, lift the ear away from the shoulder, turn forward, turn to the left, or, you know, drop your left ear towards your left shoulder and then lift the chin. And then drop the chin, lift your ear and twist the other way. So twisting left, left ear to left shoulder, lift the chin. And of course, if you need to head off and you need to finish up, you could be in Savasana already. Drop the chin, lift the ear, turn your head forward, drop the right ear towards the right shoulder. Keep the shoulders down, needless to say, lift the chin. And drop the chin, lift the ear, untwist. And then just for a moment or two, even if the day is desperately calling you, just lie down for even 3 or 4 breaths. And as always, if you have longer, take longer, because really juiced up the body here today. I can't think of a better word, but you know, you've worked the hips through their range, but also with strength. So important, with integrity from the core. Work those shoulders, and we've aimed to keep the shoulders open. So our practice is never adding to tightness or tension around the neck or the jaw. And then, yes, do stay longer if you can. I'm just going to finish the recording. So come back to seated. When you're ready, just drop the forehead to the thumbs. Again, acknowledging the fact that, yes, you have a physical body here between your sit bones and the crown of your head, but you also have an energetic body, a subtle body system, more esoteric. But I mean, if you're feeling that connection between yourself and other living things, or the universe or the cosmos around you,